Hello and welcome to the next unit by unit video here on SkaredCast. We're looking at the Drukhari Codex and we're looking at the enigmatic Lamians, the Court of the Archon series, with the first video. Let's get started and see what she's all about. Hello and welcome to another unit by unit video. I'm Skari, your grateful host here on SkaredCast, and this is a series of videos where I talk about unit by unit on the new Drukhari Codex. So if you haven't seen the other videos, make sure you check the playlist and the links down below. Today we start our series on the Court of the Archon by looking at the first of these mysterious figures, the Lamian. Now, of course, these videos are in a two-part series. First, I talk a little bit about the lore behind the unit itself, and then I discuss the unit itself, some rules, things like that. So let's dive right in, because we do have 4 different Court of the Archon models that will be part of this series this week. Okay, so let's begin with the good old Lamians. An Archon's entourage will take many strange forms. Its members are as varied as they are deadly. But the Sisterhood of Lilitu, if you know how to spell that, let me know. Or how to pronounce that, let me know. Are desired above all others for their skill in crafting and administering poisons. Whether these poisonous creations are used on the Archon's enemies within the Dark City or in real space, the results are equally horrific. A mere scratch from a Lamian's Shiameshi blade can cause a victim's flesh to begin eating itself, their brain to swell until it bursts through their skull, or their blood to acidify and melt bones and organs internally. It is said that even a kiss blown upon the wind by a Lamian can kill in seconds. So the Lamians are masters of the poisonous arts. They, if you were to look at it as like as an aspect warrior caste, they specialize in poisons and in different concoctions and how to administer them. So it's not just about the creation of poison, it's also about how to best administer them to your enemies. And they're also sort of courtesans and to the Archons themselves. So they surround themselves by these Lamians that, act as, they create elixirs and exquisite ways of killing people. They're like, very, very subtle in their effect, very deadly, very, very sublime in that sense. So let's see what they do on the battlefield while in real space. They are 1 power level. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. They move, and they're, I think, 15 points, I believe, a Lamian. So it's very, very cheap. They're 3 wounds apiece, which is 5 points per wound. It's not terrible. Yeah, Lamian is 15 points. The Shiameshi blade is 0 points and a splinter pit, and then that's it. They just have a Shiameshi blade, that's it. No more other weapons. So they move 8 inches. They have weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, strength and toughness of 3, which is pretty standard for any sort of Eldari model, 3 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 8, and a 5+ armor save. Pretty straightforward. She's armed with a Shiameshi blade. That's it. So the Shiameshi blade is a melee weapon. It's strength poison, so it wounds on a 4+, and it always gets +2 to the roll. So it wounds things that are not vehicles on a 2+. Now, unless targeting a vehicle, each time you roll a wound of a 6+, the target suffers a mortal wound in addition to any damage. So if you roll a 6 wound, they suffer a mortal wound. So, on the off chance, you'll get a couple of mortal wounds in as well as your regular armor save. So it's not bad. It's like having a venom blade, which is wound on 2+. If you know the channel, you know how much I love Venom Blades because they just put lots of dice on your opponent. And with 2 attacks, it's not terrible, you know, that's okay. They do hit on 3+ in combat, and they have ballistic skill even though they have no ranged weapon. So, now, the abilities are Power from Pain, basic Drukhari ability that we talk about every single time. 5 different effects. So you have turn 1, 6+ Feel No Pain. Turn 2 is reroll charge ranges and advanced ranges. Turn 3, +1 to hit. Turn 4, Fearless. Turn 5, enemy units suffer a -1 modifier to their leadership. Now, they do have an ability called the Court of the Archon. You can reroll failed hit rolls for this model whilst it's within 3 inches of any friendly Cabal Archon. So, rerolling all misses, so all to hit rolls, not just ones if they're around an Archon. In addition, if the army is battle forged, this model does not take up slots in a detachment that includes any Archons, which means they don't take up slots. Now, this is one of the big issues I have with the Court of the Archon, as it disallows you from using them to create brigades and to take detachments. When you have an Archon in a Cabal, they don't take up slots. In my opinion, it would have been much better to just say they may take up a slot or not, instead of just saying they don't take a slot up whatsoever. But it's cool. And in any match play, in the rules, you can take up to 4 Cabal models for every Archon, so you can't really spam them if you just take 1 Archon. Keywords are Eldari, Drukhari. They are a Cabal, so they will benefit from any obsessions that you have as well. And keywords is Infantry, Court of the Archon, and Lamian. So the Lamian itself is a small, killy, single model. They don't have the character keyword, which means they can be targeted, but it also means they will protect your Archon from shooting. So, having a couple of Lamians or other Court of the Archon models in front of your Archon or in front of a character prevents the enemy from shooting at your character even though they're a one model, which makes them very easy to hide behind line-of-sight blocking terrain and things like that to prevent the enemy from shooting at your characters or targeting them with stuff that, you know, can't specifically target characters. So keep that in mind. It might be worth 15 points just to throw in a Lamian. On the odd chance that you have to charge into something, you could do a mortal wound and reliably get a couple of attacks in that will at least wound on 2+, as long as it's not a vehicle. But let me know what you think of the Lamian model. What is it that you would enjoy? Would you run 4 Lamians in a Venom with an Archon and run them at the enemy? Would you just run 1 here or there to just act as backup in case the unit they're with dies? Or do you just have them in your army because the model looks cool? You know, they are one of my favorite models in the range. Well, let me know down below. A huge shout out to all the Patreons that support the channel. I'm planning to go to Croatia to be on the ETC Canada team. Check the link down below if you'd like to unlock some cool stuff. And we'll see you on the next video here on SkaredCast for the unit by unit Drukhari videos. Cheerio, Skari out. It's an exclusive. We're playing the game.